Hey, my name's Tony Sage. I'm a dev, and this is Sage Dev. Wanted to give you guys a heads up. I don't think I'm going to post as diligently as some of the others, but I'm creating a new tool. It's the most ambitious thing that I've done so far. It's called TraceRiver. TraceRiver is a way for us to log trace all local logs, and I'm trying to set it up so that it automatically detects your build. So if you're using some Dockerized, containerized system, that it will go to each container and isolate those logs, along with whatever you're working on in your current repo, and take that context to auto build logging and do a log tail for each of those. I'm also building in functionality so that you could drop a file into this tool. So if you went out to Splunk or to CloudWatch and you captured some logs, you could drop them into the tool and it will then render them to the screen in a usable functional format. It's very ambitious. I'm using AI to not really vibe code. I guess you could call it vibe code this, but I'm using my agentic dev setup so that it's got very strict lanes and multiple agents working in parallel to try to implement. For this process, I'm going to put it into an npm container. It's going to live. I've already claimed it, so when it's live, I'll let you know. But for now, we're just getting into, I went through some back and forth with Gemini to see what we think we're going to do, how we might implement it. I broke it into phases. So that's done. Like, first we're creating the package and doing the CLI wrapper and standing up the look and feel. Then once that phase is done, we'll get into Docker, automatic Docker selection using Docker sock to try to identify each of those Docker containers that might be there, live stream monitoring, following those container logs, and compartmentalizing them. And then based on your current setup, you can go into your composer JSON and try to isolate what logs are being created locally. We can extend this as far as we want, but right now I'm just going with this as our basics. Here's the look that I'm going for, so that when you run this, so first it's containerized, it's all in one node npm package. And when it does install, it can run this into your browser. And I want to have multiple sources, so it'll say this is the log we're getting from Docker, this is the one we're getting from our local Laravel set, this is the imported, and drops them all into the browser. It's very ambitious. I'm going to see where it goes. I'm not intending on sitting here for 20 minutes and watching this thing piece through it. This is more of a teaser. If you want to follow what I'm doing here, I'm keeping it all in repo. This is a public repo. It's under MIT license, so if you wanted to pull it down and see what it's doing, you can do that. But all of this is a work in progress and is probably going to take me quite a bit of time. I'm going to do some initial setup and get all the pieces together. I'm going to put this out as kind of our light intro video. And then once I get through some of these phases, I'll show you what it's built from those phases and how it's worked out. If you want to see the phases in detail, you can look in here. I have my phases doc where I'm talking about what we need to do to implement this, the UI theme layout, and you can see I went through and not only using Gemini, but also using Claude, determined exactly what we want this functionality to do. On top of that, every agentic agent that I have working this is also built to autodock. So we should see all of this populate with the context of how this is working and what our next steps are to implement. So it's exciting to get into something new. It's definitely ambitious, and I'll let you know how it goes. We'll have an update. I'm trying to get through phase 1 today. It might take a little while to run it. It requires a syntax highlighter for expanding log rows, and self-hosted JetBrains is fine for that. Fine with that. So it's going through phase 0, so it's setting up our lanes and setting our NPM dependencies and all those things. It's too many windows. Going through our pipeline and setting it in progress, and it's going to start into the design. So if you followed my other agentic dev video, you can see how this process is working, but I think that's it for this video for the moment. I'm going to let it go and let you know where it stands once it gets done. If you want more context, like I said, it's all going to be in these docs in the repo. All right, I'll see you guys in a little while. Hey, I'm back. It's the end of the day, and we got through the first phase, which is the core development of this new TraceRiver app. It's set into NPM, so if you went to NPM install it right now, it would install, but all you're going to get is this is an active development, and that's it. That being said, we implemented it using our agentic dev feature plugin for Claude. You can check that. That's in another video. But it ran through our entire phase 1 concept. We're doing this in multiple phases, but the first phase is just setting up the core. Look and feel, styles, parsers, and making it work. If you go to our repo on GitHub, it has included in it, along with all of our project layout and what's in place, our current roadmap. So if you want to see where we are in this process and not have to follow along on YouTube, you can find it here. You can see our specs. So right now, it should just be, we run an npx TraceRiver start, which is a mouthful. I didn't think about that being a mouthful. But from the start, all it's going to do is have you drag a log file or JSON file or something else into it, and it should populate and allow you to filter and search. So let's give that a run. Let's npx TraceRiver start. So here it is. When we are established, one of the phases, I think it might even be phase 2, is to hook up all of your Docker and all of your local setup to automatically tail. But as it is right now, we need to browse. So we've got some tests that were built. Our testing on this with our AQ-driven agent is pretty extensive. But let's drop a few of these in. Let's just see if I can do multiples. I haven't tried that. Okay. So if you went to look at these raw, they're all different in their setup. This one's in JSON. There's a separate, this is in Mongo Laravel. What it would look like in raw. There's, this one's nasty log, which isn't anything. It's just a combination of gross things and Nginx. But the power of this tool is I have multiple systems, right? Those multiple systems are all playing together at the same time. When one errors, it could error in multiple different places. So we can filter and search by that. So if I wanted to filter out just the failures, you could find some common through line in here. It gives you the context. You could also filter it down and say, okay, I want to be 500. We'll only return 500s. If we're going to see, let's go ahead and open it all back up. If it's related to, I don't know, an API call, we could do a get, and it would give us everything around the get and what might have errored out, along with the routes. And these are all separate formats. So this one's saying I did a get against health 200, and it gave me a warning, but it still searches that in the results. You can also, if you're doing a live stream of your local, You can freeze the stream midstream or clear the logs. When we clear the logs right now, it will clear all of our test logs that I'm looking at. So for first day, this is pretty good. I can even still do the drag and drop if I don't want to pick one. Other things that I've noticed, unfortunately, let's just do raw log. There's my raw log. Right now, I tried dropping some Cloudflare logs in, and it didn't work out of the box. We're probably going to need to extend our format a little bit and tweak it. This raw log, if you looked at it, doesn't have any related context. It's just raw, which is why it's not doing anything but saying, here's my fatal error, exactly what it came from the service. And there's a live thing here, so if we were doing a live stream, we could scroll up and down and try to figure out what's going on, and then we could hit live. It would take us to the most recent. These do filter right now by the actual log. Eventually, I want this to be in chronological, so that even if we upload multiple log sources, it'll automatically put them in a chronological order. There's a couple more things to do here. We're not done by any means, but if you want to see how it's working so far, you can go out to the repo and look at it. This is a MIT license, so if you wanted to pull this and had some thoughts or want to make a suggestion, I'd be happy to hear it. I'm still in progress. I've just about maxed out my tokens for the week. So I don't know that more is going to be coming this week, but keep an eye on the repo, keep an eye on what we're doing here, and we should have something together for phase 2 coming soon. I haven't done an install on this yet, so let's just see what happens if I try. I'm going to go to I've got so many now. I'm going to go to my Street Bytes. Oh yeah, why would it be in desktop? That's not where it lives. Street Bytes, Street Bytes. Okay, so from here I should be able to do an npm install dev, and it's TraceRiver. And if I set it up right, and I think I did, then we should have that install. If I didn't, then you're going to see me fail tremendously and fall flat on my face. So I'm hoping it works. Please use include dev instead. Okay. If I go to my package, it should be there. It is there. See, it's all coming together. And now if I do a npx TraceRiver start. Yeah. So when I get the version released, you should see all of this functionality come through. It is official. It's tied to me in Node Package Manager. And keep up with me. We'll see. When I feel like I'm comfortable with it, we'll create an initial release version. Anyway, that's it for this video. I know it's pretty short. I'm just going through what I'm working through right now. If you have any thoughts, concerns, if you have anything to add, please hit me up. I'm on LinkedIn. You could hit me on YouTube comments. If you have additional functionality you might like to add to this, you could drop a comment in the GitHub repo, reach out. Thank you for watching. I'll keep you informed as this moves along. My name's Tony, and have a fantastic day.